that said it was hard to get time with the CEO.
Crushed it.
The CEO, how much screen time do you get with them? And they're probably the most narcissistic person in the room.
So we agree. We're in complete agreement.
Wait, you have a business with the AI, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Use
So-
AI to finesse things and then get funding from the bank. Most founders are secretly lonely and or insecure. Most, yes. Most, yes. Are secretly lonely and insecure. Most, yes. Most, yeah.
No, they're not. No, I
Do you disagree?
Yeah.
Why do you disagree?
I think when you start a business, right, you meet people along the way. So yeah, you can make really close people, your brothers,
Yeah.
right? The people you work with, a bunch of 5 of them, but you build a deep connection. You make money together, you know, go on holidays, spend money,
Yeah.
live life, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, by the way, making money is also a social activity. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I've got 80 staff across 5 countries. I've got staff in Ghana, Nigeria, Eastern Europe, Australia, Philippines, South America. And by the way, I told my staff, if we hit a certain revenue goal in Q3, then I'll fly everyone to the Philippines. We'll have like a freaking party in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? And I might be speaking in India at the end of the year on stage. So I get the social activity of it. But for most people in traditional normal businesses, when they're starting an entrepreneurial journey, it's really lonely at the start for most people. And it's lonely because you are becoming an outlier from your environment. So you have to pick up traits that are different to the way in which you grew up. I'm the oldest child of 2. My parents were so nervous for me to become an entrepreneur. They're like, you know, we put you in a good school, you passed the exams that you had to pass, you know, you're playing basketball at Melbourne Uni, just freaking just be a lawyer, bro, like, please, you know what I mean? And I was like, nah, I want to start a freaking marketing agency. I've had my parents cry, I've had people in the community be like, your son was going to do this, what happened to him? And it wasn't until I was featured in the paper when I was in my early 20s in West Melbourne, where they're like, oh, my son is actually... So it is lonely because you are going to stick out. And sticking out for some people, at least for me initially, was challenging. But yes, over time when you have a team,
So we agree.
another thing that I would say does make you lonely is the pressure.
The pressure.
And some people love it and some people break under it.
Yeah.
The insecurity thing as well, I think a lot of people are driven by insecurity, and I think that just takes a certain level of understanding yourself. I was fat as a kid, and then I was athletic by 13, 14. I got called fat nigger at 12 before I even knew what nigger meant. No, it's funny, to be honest. I didn't even know. I had to go on, what's it called? The Urban Dictionary? And I was like, hold on. The Boondocks, I was like, damn. So then I went back to school. I was crying. Like, why are you crying? You know, when you're like 11, 12, you're like, don't you just cry so they can see it? You know, I was insecure. And then I lost the weight, became athletic. And that's what led me to basketball. And basketball led me to entrepreneurship. But it spawned out of insecurity. I have no shame in admitting that. Let me ask you, how did you grow up? Were you popular in school?
I was average, you know, normal guy,
Okay.
sporty, all that kind of stuff.
Sporty. Okay.
But when you achieve something,
Yeah.
and you try to do something,
Yeah.
you have to meet a lot of people along the way.
Well-
That's just part of the nature
Yes, agreed.
of success.
Yeah.
Right.
But meeting people doesn't mean you aren't lonely. You can be popular but have no real friends. Elon Musk is very lonely.
How do you know? He has like a couple wives, kids.
He talks about it. He says most people would not want to live the life that he's living.
Yeah, he's just
He's
gatekeeping.
He's gatekeeping?
Yeah, he has
he's
millions.
just aura farming,
The
right?
biggest thing is people telling you having money, being successful is lonely. It's not. It's one of the best things.
I think it is one of the best things, but I do think some of it is people's propensity to deal with pressure alone. Because I know for a fact, when I was 21, I was like, my goal was by the time I was 20, I might have made my first million. I made my first million at 25, fresh 26. I'm 26 right now, so it was only recent, and now we're doing more, and I'm grateful for that. But it took me a lot of fuck. At 21, I could not have managed 80 people. I thought I would have been able to, but I couldn't. I wasn't mature enough. I didn't have the skill. But now I can yield that pressure, still hit the gym, still enjoy my life. And when my phone's blowing up, I can, but like at 21, I probably wouldn't have been able to handle that level of pressure.
But you still had a team around you, right?
At 21,
Yeah.
like 2 virtual assistants from Fiverr.
You didn't have anyone?
I mean,
You didn't
virtual
have
assistants on
a
Slack.
girlfriend, a friend. You didn't have
I
those
didn't have a
day
girlfriend
ones?
at 21.
Day
I
ones?
had day ones.
Exactly.
But running a business, the art of running a business, especially the bigger it gets, there is more pressure. Do you have any staff in your venture, so to speak?
Yeah, a couple
Okay.
stops. Yeah.
Okay. Who do you think has an easier job, your staff or you?
I think I do, you know.
You have an easier job.
Because
You just must be built for the game, man. I respect that. I'm way more insecure than you, man. You're a better person than me. Are you insecure about anything? Because you might not be. And by the way, I'm not saying that to have a dig at you. I'm saying that because, again, part of entrepreneurship is also that narcissism. Some people are just like, I'm built for this shit. I didn't come out the womb like that. I was like, I'm insecure, basketball. I need money to pay for the shooting machine so I can put up 1,000 shots a day like Kobe.
Yeah.
That's how I got into business.
Okay.
But that was insecurity. Maybe you're different than me. You're healthier than me. Respect.
Is anyone else? Okay.
What's
It's
that?
been a minute. It's been a minute,
man. It's good to see you.
I want to argue. I'm ready to argue.
Let's get it.
I feel like, okay, so when it comes to our insecurities, I feel that there's a difference between having that insecurity, which is intrinsic, which comes from within us,
Yep.
and then having insecurities pushed upon us. Now, in your case, you said that your family were the pressuring side, were the
Archetypal.
they were trying to say, look, you're this, you're
Become a
that, and
lawyer.
they're putting you in a box. Yeah.
Yep.
And you didn't want to do that. You said, nah, I'm Miles Morales. I'm doing my own thing, you know?
Yep.
And I feel that, yes, you can take that over and beyond. And you can say, you know what, then? If I'm going to push away these people, that must mean that I'm secure within what I want to do. It's maybe that you're not secure about who you are right now. It's that you're secure. You're so certain that it's who you're going to be. So there is that difference. And that doesn't mean that you're insecure. That just means that you haven't found that security yet. You're in the middle. There's insecurity, which I believe is the most common trait with all these employed people and unemployed people who aren't ambitious. They don't go out of their way. They just want to work. They just want a system. They want routine. They want comfort. So what they do is they rely on their insecurity to hold them back. So they say, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm never going to be Kobe Bryant. They don't have that ambition.
I think insecurity goes in both directions, though.
It goes hand in hand with ambition.
I
So
agree.
if you're able to be ambitious, then your security is going to make you, you know, exactly who you want to be in the future, even if you're not that right now.
I like the frame, and from like an encouragement standpoint, like you're right. Like it's better to think I'm becoming secure in the person I'm becoming. Therefore, let me act into it and become it. I agree with that way of thinking. When it comes to stats, though, I disagree, because the amount of most humans aren't like, I'm going to work 12 hours a day. I'm going to work 14 hours a day for 5 to 10 years. Miss out on birthday parties, miss out on relationships, disappoint parents, disappoint friends, disappoint yourself sometimes, and become sleep deprived, make sacrifices, quit jobs, have the corporate people like, oh, he thinks he's going to start his own business. Good luck to him.
Okay.
A lot of the consistency required to maintain that evolves from insecurity for a lot of people. I'm not even talking about just like me. I'm just saying like the average quote unquote successful person, usually those.
Confusing insecurity with adversity.
Hang on, no, I'm going to say something else. I think that you might be confusing it with delusion. I think that being delusional,
You
saying
have to be delusional
yourself,
statistically to become
100%.
successful.
That's what I think. Statistically, from your point of view,
Well, 4% of Australian businesses make $1 million a year revenue. So you
Right.
have to be at 4 out of 100 people.
Right.
You have to be a bit narcissistic. You have to be a bit, I can do this. And the pain tolerance, because being an entrepreneur is painful. It's not fucking, you just wake up one day and it's easy. It's painful. That pain tolerance for most people is developed out of pain or extreme happiness for most people.
I think everyone starts somewhere and everyone starts out of pain. Like the second you're born, you're crying,
So
right?
we agree.
No, we don't.
Well, pain and
Because
insecurity is different. I agree with that.
100%, because you actually come out of insecurity and into security the second that you say, I choose my pain. The second that you say, I choose to be in pain when I'm struggling,
But
when
that's a
I'm working
response to
hard for.
insecurity.
Yeah, 100%. So there is no insecurity as a founder. It's the insecurity as a non-founder, as a person just starting out, as a person who's saying, no, I don't know what I want to do yet. And then you gain security once you know what you want to do. You say, yeah, I'm ambitious. I want to gain $1 million in the next year. That's that ambition.
Most people don't, and I agree with you, but I think people usually create a business to actually solve or create the thing to protect themselves from when they were insecure. So for example, if someone's like, you know what, I was rejected for not being popular in school.
Okay.
You know what, I want to start a nightclub. That's a lot of nightclub founder stories, by the way. I wasn't able to sleep with the girl. They fucked the jock or the footy player that I really wanted to date. I'm gonna become a porn star. There's literally a porn star that has that story.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Yeah. So like a lot of, it's pretty funny.
No, it's good that you know that though.
Yeah. Anyway, so,
You've done your research.
anyway, so
Okay,
like
okay.
a lot of people end up doing the volume
Yeah.
Because success is also about odds.
Yeah.
So you have to do significantly more volume than the average person to put the odds in your favor. I made 1 million cold calls by 25. I don't know many other people by 25 that have made 1 million cold calls. And the people that have probably didn't have the desire. They're just like, you know what? Just gonna make 50, 100K in the bank, buy my 2 houses, show my parents on Facebook, got a house, got the girlfriend. But for me, I'm just like, at least coming up as a teenager, if anything, I wanted to protect myself from that feeling of when I was young, you know, not being physically good enough. Basketball was my business, for the sake of this conversation, to heal that insecurity.
Right.
And then to get really good at basketball, I realized I had to make money, and I'm an entrepreneur. But
Can we play out 2 scenarios though? I feel that maybe we're confusing insecurity with a couple other different things, because it's definitely not insecurity that's on top of what's motivating you. There's more than that, and there's 2 different ways to look at it. So you're, for example, making 1 million cold calls, and so what you have to do then to hype yourself up, you know, you got to get in that mode. You know, I've tried that as well, the cold emails, everything like that. You can't say to yourself that it's because I'm insecure that I'm going to do this. Like, oh, I'm not really sure. Like,
no, but
oh,
it's the
I don't
spawn
want to.
point.
Yeah, okay. So you start out insecure.
And then you become secure.
You become secure, but I'm saying that an entrepreneur can never be insecure. They can't be.
I think they're the most secure.
The second that they become insecure is the second that people see their faults. The second that they say, oh,
a lot of them are
they might not actually be the right person to lead.
I almost agree with you, but a lot of them have dark triad traits.
Okay.
So dark triad traits, again, sociopathy, Machiavellianism / psychopathy, and narcissism. You can hide a lot of entrepreneurs. Elon literally has said, a lot of people would not want to live the life I live. He's naturally introverted. He's forced himself to be Mr. Autistic speaker on stage. But it's not natural to him to be super charismatic. Donald Trump, I'm sure, has extreme insecurities. But you can't really see it because he's doing the freaking dance and he's super confident.
Yeah.
But extreme anything is usually making up for a lack of something.
Okay. To be honest, maybe back to what was said before, there is a spectrum.
There is a spectrum.
Okay. And there is that level of, and it depends on how you define success. I want to know what you think, but Elon Musk, I wouldn't say he is a successful person. I can't argue that he is, because to me, that's not success. Well, you've got billions and billions of dollars and still everyone hates you. I don't know a single person who says, yeah, I actually look up to Elon Musk in the sense that, wow, he's a great public figure.
But to be
maybe
also
to make
secure,
money,
you know, do you have to get public consensus?
Well, no. Then in that case, a successful entrepreneur can be insecure. Oh, sorry. A successful entrepreneur cannot be insecure because they are not successful then. They have to be secure in what they've done in order to be successful. That's what I think. There's contentment in success, right?
I don't think there's contentment in success.
No. If once you are successful, once you are successful, that means that you're content with what you have.
Really? I'm content right now, but I like building.
You want to continue being successful. Is that what you're trying to say?
I love growing. I love winning. I define winning as growing and creating.
If you want to continue growing, then I don't think you're content. I don't think that you have that level of content yet.
You grow hair on and you have an amazing beard, right?
Inshallah. I mean, thank you.
I got you. So there's always growth. We're always growing or dying, especially in business.
Okay.
If I'm not bringing in more revenue, my business is losing revenue. Everything is growing or dying, right? So entrepreneurs, usually it spawns to some level from what I've read, out of insecurity. But what happens is, yes, you start falling in love with the self-fulfilling prophecy of momentum in either direction. Oh, I love the stress. It's lonely sometimes. Like, people don't know that I don't have enough to pay payroll tomorrow, but I love that. And then I make it happen every time. And I'm like, another day, we breathe. Back to so that is a compounding effect of entrepreneurship, especially after a long time. But for a lot of people, they're like, my boss fired me for no reason, even though I was the best salesperson. I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to show him I'm better than him. Or this girl didn't want to date me. I want to start a nightclub. Or they said I couldn't do content. I want to do content. Or Michael Jordan, they didn't want to put me on the high school team. I'm going to become the best basketball player ever to live. A lot of them spawn out of insecurity. Again, I'm not the one that makes the stories up. I just report the facts.
All right. Okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, sure.
Did anyone to add? Jump on, because they can't hear you. Jump on. Let's stay on this topic. Yeah? That was a really good idea. No, yep.
I want to do the personality thing, but
we can do personality.
Change the personality because I didn't get a chance to disagree with you.
Okay.
And that's the only thing I actually disagree with you. I agree with you in everything.
That's okay. Doesn't matter.
Is all good? Yeah.
So you, about the...
You want me to go though?
The personality.
Yeah,
one,
so
right?
you said before how personality,
I think it's
getting
relatively
money
static.
will change your personality, right?
I think
And you said it,
From
you said
a-
it wouldn't.
I think personality in and of itself, after a certain age, is relatively inelastic.
What's your definition of personality?
Good question. I think personality, in many ways, is actually genetic and it's environmental. So what I mean by that, if I have two parents that are very introverted, but they're really, really good at talking to people, then the odds are I'm probably gonna have some sort of lean towards introversion and verbal dexterity, the ability to talk in different ways. And then you put someone in an environment. So for example, you put someone in New York, which is the greed capital of the world, like literally, like you can look this up. Of
course.
Then you're probably gonna have a higher chance of making money in New York compared to country Victoria, or my little brother was born, because of population. So if you put someone that, for example, has BPD in somewhere like New York, that will probably get activated. You know what I mean? It might have been dormant till they were 35, but it probably could get activated. But if you put them in, as an example, country Victoria, where everyone's kind of a bit more chill and they're a bit more relaxed, well, the odds are that you're probably not going to have that trait activated in you.
But the thing what I'm trying to make was, you got truth in what you said, but that's still a subjective definition. The real definition
Sure.
of personality is, put my phone for this, the unique and relatively stable set of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that define how an individual interacts with the world.
Yep.
What you said before is truth in that, but you're not mentioning how it represents distinctive patterns
Yep.
of perceiving, thinking, and feeling.
Yep.
So your personality has to change if you want to get higher and successful. And you just said it before, a lot of well-known entrepreneurs and CEOs and big timers, they have an insecurity,
But it's,
extreme insecurity
but it
that they have to
persists.
extremely reverse.
no, but they don't. You know what's interesting? Your definition is factual, but the reason why I still default to genetics is and nature versus nurture is because even the most insecure people, they use the business to try
Okay.
and heal themselves. So
But
it heals money
there are
things.
plenty of skilled people there's plenty of engineers who can do work that I can't do.
Yeah.
But they're not out here doing sales because their personality is not able to fit into the sales world. My
Yeah.
point being is, you said how money
There's
won't
a
change
lot
your
of-
personality.
Yeah,
I think for you
I
to
think
make more
exaggerates
money,
things, yeah.
for you to make money, you have to change your personality.
I don't.
I don't mean the aspect of being kind and being nice.
No, but I get what
they're
you're
able
saying.
to be more narcissistic,
I'll tell
more
you-
of a dominator,
I think
more
a lot of that's-
unapologetic.
I get what you're saying. I still think a lot of that's genetic. Here's why: there are different types of founders. There's some founders that are not good at sales. There are some founders that are really good at product.
Yeah.
Did you know the owner of Gymshark, Ben Francis? He's not the CEO of Gymshark. He's the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer.
Okay.
Because he understands what his skill set is. So some people genuinely have a proclivity or a lean towards a certain batch of traits. For me, I'm more of a visionary. I've read all the books, I've taken the courses. No matter how good I try to be at ops, I'm very good at ops, but I'm not as good as my ops manager.
Right.
Give it to her. I'm really good at retention and account management. I've got better account managers to give it to them. But I'm
And
really good at visionary.
what if you're an egomaniac and you couldn't allow to have that humbleness because of your personality? What if there was a part of you where
probably
you
would have
couldn't
shown
humble
itself in
yourself?
basketball.
So you do have to have some alterations to your personality for the longer goal.
I get where you're coming from. And what I'm not trying to say is you don't have to try and contain the extreme parts of your personality. It's funny you said the ADHD. I'm very naturally, I want to try 100 things a day. Like that's naturally how I am. But yes, I have learned through trial and error to put that in a box, but I know that that's still in me.
Yeah.
Like if I'm on Flinders Street and I see 10 different types of donuts, like she'll know this, I'll probably buy like 5 just because I want the different donuts. So I let it out. It's still in me. But yes, part of being a human, not even an entrepreneur, as an adult, is containing the urges of our personality. Doesn't mean the personality
100%. But there's
we
also
just
a saying.
reveal parts of ourselves that are useful
Correct.
and beneficial to the individuals of which you're serving.
There's a saying that your first meal is the hardest meal to make.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not even about the actual money itself, it's about the mindset switch, right? That mindset is part of personality.
Fair
So
point.
to be able to hold a million and to keep a million and to expand on that million, there has to be changes made. Personality has to
Yes.
change and capability has to be evolved.
Yes, you are right. And I will give you that agreement partially. Here's why only partially. The same traits I had at 17 when I was studying in the Werribee Library, Werribee Plaza, trying to finish my year 12 exams to try and play basketball in the States, LA and Sacramento. I have those traits now. The only difference is, yes, time has allowed me to identify, hey, these 5 out of my 7 traits, these 5 are useful for business. So I've always had the traits, but yes, with time, I've exaggerated them. The money
So
exaggerated
your personality had to change and exaggerate.
them. The exaggeration
Exaggeration
of
is a change.
Well, it can be a change, but let me ask you a question. the hair you have on your face, right? That's always gonna grow. You shave it off, but that's the hair you have on your face. The makeup of the hair. It's not. You're not gonna grow orange hair or orange beard. It's just your hair. It grows. Sometimes it shaves. You adapt and you adjust it. But I wouldn't say your like mustache or your facial structure has changed. It's still the same premise. You've just revealed what you think is necessary for different environments. For example, I'm assuming you shaved a little bit because you want to be on camera today.
Right.
I got a haircut this morning for that reason, but I still have my dreads. I'm just more presentable.
Yeah.
I'm still a dreadhead at the end of the day. I'm still a West Side boy at the end of the day, just like yourself.
I know.
That doesn't change. That happened and it will continue to happen, but I present the right parts of me to the right environments.
If someone who lacked confidence, charisma, or the ability to have posture for themselves entered a room where people who are veterans, who have done the reps, who have done the hard yards, who know how to navigate this kind of world entrepreneurship and how cold it is, they would eat him alive. They would step over him, because he has no posture and he is weak. It's a world of nature.
You know,
he has to evolve and change and grow and build and get armor to withstand this world.
Yes, but you know,
So he has to change. His personality has to change.
I'll tell you why I want to agree with you, and it seems like I'm using a cop-out. Remember how I talked about if you were in New York, certain traits get activated versus the country. That person that changed, he might have been like a manipulative cunt since he was 7. It just wasn't activated. So certain businesses will even activate other parts of you. Have you guys ever been in a relationship with a girl? And she brings out, like, there's a girl that like, wow, it makes me more vulnerable. I want to be more vulnerable with her. And another girl, you're like, I don't want to be vulnerable with her.
Yeah,
But there was always in you.
that's true.
Because you could have been vulnerable with your mother. So is it that you changed or there were certain
Activated.
things that activated?
I'm in agreement.
And you're
I
activated
agree.
right now. Turn me up.
100%.
Okay,
I can swap it off.
cool.
I'll swap with someone.
Bouncing off that, relationships sabotage the success of young entrepreneurs.
Before I answer that, can you bring my phone just to check that all the influencers aren't waiting downstairs?
Yeah.
They are?
Yep.
Can you go get them? Oh wait, no, not you, sorry. Declan, can you? Wait, Declan, you're the DJ. All good. Can you bring them up?
Yeah, they're all just waiting. Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead.
Relationships sabotage the success of young entrepreneurs.
Relationships sabotage the success of young entrepreneurs? I have to pick a side. Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna steal it. He's gonna steal it.
No. You want to?
I call that shit.
Look at it.
Better win this one for us.
Okay. So just tell me again. Your position is relationships do
They do.
They
For
do.
young entrepreneurs.
for young entrepreneurs.
For most, yeah.
Relationships.
Generally speaking.
Okay, so you believe that they do. Tell me why.
I'm gonna answer this as a man.
Okay.
I think let's just define what we mean by young. If you're sub 35 in entrepreneurship,
Okay. Under 35. Yeah.
I think a lot of men, there's so many distractions in and of itself. And one could argue that being single is the greatest distraction of all. And I think that's actually a very valid argument.
Just not my point.
But what I do think is if someone is in a relationship with someone that isn't all in on their vision, it's very, very hard for you to squeeze the absolute best of yourself because everything has a sacrifice. So for example, if you're in a relationship, hey, at this time of the night, we switch everything off and we do this together. Everyone has their own regulation. Did you know, for example, that the more in love a woman is with you, the more unconsciously over time, her sleeping pattern starts to match yours, right? So there's all these different things that show that mutual pairing has many great benefits, but naturally over time, you start to repeat the same patterns of the other person unconsciously. So for example, I did a live on this on Instagram about something called zygomatic facial expressions. So have you guys ever seen a couple where they kind of look the same?
Yeah, you find that comfort in familiarity from parents.
Familiarity from parents, but more importantly, the same facial expressions that we make to each other, they'll start to copy it. If I smile in a certain way, they're going to use the same muscles to smile in a certain way. If I blink a certain way, they're going to so when you're starting up from scratch and you're young, you need such extreme clarity on what you want. And then once that has momentum, I think you can welcome into a relationship.
Okay, so you're on the end that relationships can totally destroy your ability,
Totally
your
destroy
ambition.
is extreme rhetoric. I'm
Okay,
just saying it
so
can
no.
be a distraction.
Okay, it can be a distraction of
When
your,
you're a young entrepreneur.
your ambition, your drive, your motivation, everything that it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. You're saying that relationship can destroy.
I think when
can
you're
distract from
younger,
it.
It can be a distraction.
It can be a distraction. I'm here to
For most
say that the opposite is true. Actually, those relationships are what uplift you. They are what can encourage you. That accountability can be held. Because when you have, and you need the right relationships, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you totally isolate yourself, and I'm not saying that every single relationship is good for you. Your drug dealer relationship, you got to cut that off. You say to him, look, I'm an entrepreneur now, okay?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a better person. So then what happens is you choose the right relationships. They uplift you, for
Do you
example.
think most people choose the right relationships?
I think a good entrepreneur does, 100%.
Do you think most people are good entrepreneurs? Only 4% of people make over $1 million a year in
Yes,
this
yes,
country. So
okay.
most people aren't. So my advice is to the general, you're very intelligent. You're freaking 22 and you do really unique content that a lot of people truthfully don't have the IQ for, being honest, right? I'm not just gassing you up.
Mashallah, mashallah.
No, but
mashallah.
and I'm being honest. So like the way you can make decisions is a lot more sophisticated
Okay.
than the average 27 to 35-year-old that's going to watch this video. And they're like, you know what? I love her, but like she cheats on me all the time. And like, I sometimes can't focus on my business. Or, oh, I love her and she doesn't want me to start a business because I don't want to put this money into this business. She wants me to put it towards our wedding.
Okay.
So I think for the average person, you're not average. This is just the reality. For the average person, if you're under 35 and you're thinking of starting a business and you're like, should I start a business, get in a relationship? I think you should take that risk. You're only going to be under 35 once.
I still disagree. Oh, okay. Okay.
This would be the lesson to go. For sure.
Good stuff, bro. So good.
That's a good hook. Stop the video. All right. Hello, my name is Pranav.
Nice to meet you, man. I like the glasses, by the way.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
So, just before I begin talking, I just want to say this is for the 4%, right? Like, I'm being super selfish here. This is for the real ones that are watching this and are actually gonna get some good value out of it. I think that as a man, you should be the one setting the boundaries in the relationship. I feel like a relationship being beneficial to you as a young man, especially in your entrepreneurial journey, is based on the boundaries that you set and how disciplined you are with those boundaries and how well you enforce them.
Okay.
And
Do you think most people are good at enforcing boundaries, period?
hell no. But
Oh,
this
we
is for,
agree.
this is for the real ones. No.
Oh,
But,
okay. We don't agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because again, the caveat is like setting boundaries is a skill that you can develop and you can learn.
Yep.
So over time, you can always make the relationship beneficial
Okay.
for you, right? So
Over time.
over time, correct.
So you
Because
have...
you learn the boundaries, you learn how to enforce them, you learn how to actually, you learn how to be more disciplined.
Do you think most people in their 20s are good at boundary setting? Just to reiterate that question.
In their 20s.
Yeah. Because my argument's young. If you're under 30, if you're over 35, there's different factors. Like maybe you want to have kids. There's all kinds of different mutual things. You might have dependents. You might have parents that are getting older and sick. By God's grace, I want to retire both of my parents by the time I'm 28. Right? But like, what I can say is if you look at stats, 25 to 35 is when your brain has the most cognitive bandwidth. So what that means is your ability to like put a lot of mental motor behind a business is between 25 to 35. But the amount of time where you can exert a lot of physical energy is between 17 and about late 20s, right? For men and women. So I'm saying if you're under 35 and you're a man, bro, this is like a window of time where you can really go as hard as you can with minimum external responsibility. This is where you can be selfish, male or female, actually. This is where you can be the most selfish. Be selfish now. Because when you have kids, no matter how much of a hustler you are, you don't know what it's like to have a child. I don't. And that's a different level of bonding and incentive.
I agree partially here as well, because it depends on what drives you, right? Some people actually perform, not me personally, but I know entrepreneurs that perform better when they're with the women they love.
I think if you look at most rich people, most millionaires are in relationships.
Long term as well.
But if you look at the richest women in the world, they're divorcees.
Yeah.
So again, I'm just a stats guy,
Yeah,
and I think the
correct.
stats would support that if most people aren't good at making their own decisions, then they probably are not going to always pick the best partner. A lot of people are picking partners based on unhealed wounds from childhood.
But I'm just talking about the exceptional entrepreneurs.
So you're only talking to the 4%. I'm talking to everyone because I'm not a normal guy. I'm just the guy from West Melbourne that forced it and made it happen. Like, I'm still figuring it out. So that's why I use stats, because I think a lot of us can relate to stats, not fiction, essentially. I mean, 50% of people get divorced. Doesn't mean you shouldn't get married. Only 4% of businesses make over $1 million. Doesn't mean it's profitable.
But the argument here is that for
But I think you should
young
increase your
adults-
odds if you're a young man. And I think increasing your odds is getting certainty, momentum, and clarity. Once you have that momentum, get in a relationship. If you don't have momentum, don't get in a relationship. Don't waste the chick's time. Why are you wasting women's time?
So the argument here is then
Clock that.
it's momentum.
Clock that.
So you're talking about
It's
momentum.
momentum.
Here. Okay, yeah. So that's completely different.
Absolutely.
Yep. So if you have momentum,
That's when we can use your 10K a month rule. I like that. Don't date women until you're making 10K a month. I think we can agree there. I mean, for real. I'd agree on that. Would you agree on that? Cool.
say less. Say less.
Say less. Say less. All right.